Today we're gonna paint based on a photo reference and I'll show you how to make it interesting. Sup, Liron here. Thank you for joining me in another video. Today what I want to talk about is how to paint using a photo reference and still make it interesting. And what I want to demonstrate to you here, really, this is the most important part, is that it is okay to change things around. In fact, sometimes it's even preferable and sometimes it's even a must, okay? So painting from photos, if you're trying to imitate exactly what you see, it could be excruciatingly difficult and not fun and not creative as well. Now, some people love the whole hyper photorealistic thing and to just paint exactly as they see things, which is totally fine. That's, I think, one way of doing things. Now, if you are like me and you like to create a more of an impression of what you see, impressionistic, then this is really for you. This is the painting we're gonna work on together. You probably saw this in a past episode of the paint show in Cadmium Red Deep, I believe. This is what I used for this one, the PWC paints. And so I think this is a great example because what I'm doing is changing a lot of what I see in the reference photo. And this is just what I want to show you today, and it's really, really fun. So let's get started with the process.
Okay, so I'm starting with the drawing process as always, and I thought I'd give you a good look at that. I wanted you to see how I get the boat in. And you can see that I'm at this stage trying to be quite loyal to the reference. I don't have a lot that I want to change here necessarily. I do mark in the beginning, you saw this, just where the boat starts and ends. This is important. But in any case, this is where I start changing things around. This is where it becomes, I think, where it gets interesting. So I'm starting with the sky. I'm using my PWC paints by ShinHan. And what you see now is the Cobalt Blue. And I just thought I'll use this trio. And first off, by making a color choice or a color selection before starting the painting, you already give yourself a chance to change things around. Okay, so just by deciding to use a preset selection of colors, you already say, I'm not going to commit to making this boat look exactly the same. And this is, I think, what I did just here. And so now I'm changing to a yellow, and I'm trying to keep the purity of the colors. And remember that I'm doing this in a very in a sketchbook that I allow myself a lot of freedom in. So painting around the highlights, leaving the front of the boat white, just so that is going to be in light. In the picture, it also is kind of in the light, and so. Yes, and now I'm just making the yellow a little stronger towards the bottom, adding a bit more red to it. So that's Cadmium Yellow Deep, Cadmium Red Deep, and Cobalt Blue. So yeah. And already I made a huge shift from the reference that has, just like nature, it has more muted colors and not necessarily all vibrant and happy. You know, that's what separates the real life from maybe paintings and drawings made by children, is that they use very vibrant colors for the most part. So if you can use the vibrant colors in a way that's still realistic or preserves the authenticity of the values, then you can get a very interesting result. Now for the water, as you saw, I just put a piece of purple there, a purple stripe, and let it merge a bit into the sky. I don't mind that because it will send it to the background. So now I'm demonstrating how strong the cadmium red is. Notice how, and I allow it to bleed into the purple that I put under it. Sorry about that. And also in the bottom, I wanted to add a stripe of red. I felt like the picture, the original reference, was too blue. There's the blue of the sky, there's the blue of the ocean, then there's the blue on the boat. It was too much, and red just seemed to be the most logical choice for this color. So now on the left, we're going to have a very, very strong shadow. And it's really important. I'm using a really thick paint, and I will soon show you how well the red shows and how opaque or dominant it is when I'm going to do some wet in wet and put it inside the shadow. I think I'll even zoom in so you can better see this in just a moment. So just carefully painting around the rocks, but not too worried about that, as you can see. Putting the red onto the shadow and now into the bottom part of the shadow, and you can see how it immediately sticks in there. You can see it really well, and connecting it to the more well-lit side of the boat with a little stripe of red that I saw in the reference, and I wanted to do that. So now I'm just neutralizing just a bit the yellow. It was a bit too much, I think. So even though I decided to keep it pure, I'm just neutralizing it using a gray mix that has all three primaries. And I'm just going carefully around the rest of the boat because I don't want to touch it too much. And near the area that's closer to us, I'm turning it more into the orange side maybe, and doing some wet and wet just to indicate, the changes in the surface of the sand, which is very common. So yeah. Now there's a few details on top of the boat that I'm just getting in there. And if you also notice, I negative painted around where there's going to be a rope. I'm going to put that in a moment. But first I'm just getting done with these small details on top of the boat. Maybe a tarp, maybe some crates, something like this. A strong shadow under that strong red. There's a lot of strength to this. It's like this painting packs a strong punch, and I like that. Once in a while, I will go crazy like that. So now I felt the need to kill some of the red, or maybe make it stronger. And here's the interesting part where the rope comes, and this is important because it will contrast with the rest of the painting, and will really get some sharp, strong changes of value, which are important. And you can see I'm really flinging everything in there. What you see is about double speed, or maybe even more, maybe triple. I'm not sure. But in any case, it's not real time, of course. I don't work that fast in real time. But really, you can see how far off from the reference this is, and how it still, I think, looks beautiful, and I'm really happy with that result. A little deeper shadows there. I think it was, I saw some stronger shadows, and I leave just a small highlight there for maybe a wooden leg or something that the boat is resting on, maybe a rock. Some dry brush just for fun, and we are really near the end. This is a simple painting that is really just fun. So now I'm signing this, and I'm going to show you in just a moment the final result. I really hope you enjoyed this one. And so how we can change the reference, and let's wrap it up.
So this is it. Thank you once again for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this. Here's again the final result. I'm really pleased with how this turned out. I think there is a lesson to be learned here, that really you can change quite a lot and still get the impression of what you were aiming for. Again, values plus an accurate drawing, and it's probably most of it. And you have a lot of freedom in that inside or within that frame. And I think this is where the interest comes from, the ability to interpret what you see and change the colors around, make things more interesting, make things more vibrant. And in this way, I think art surpasses reality, because you can't really compete with what you see out there. It's just too difficult, non-practical, and I wouldn't want to. I like my paintings to have a certain statement. So this is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget, if you want to support me, Patreon is the best way. I'm going to put a link in the description box below. You'll get some sneak peeks into upcoming videos and works in progress and paintings, and I will self-critique my paintings. Check it out. And it's a great way to support me in my goal of getting a studio really soon in the next few months, so that I can create probably tons of more videos and content for you. Also, be sure to subscribe, because I have a lot of videos like this one, and I'm making new ones all the time on a fairly consistent basis. Fairly is like 100% consistent, I think, so far. I've been doing a good job with that. Thank you once again. I really enjoy YouTube. I love it. If this is the first video of me you see, I try to expand on many topics. Okay, so I do recommend you check out the other ones as well. And I will see you again in another vid real soon.